What's up, guys and gals? I'm your host, Mike Pugh of the FPC Virtual Channel, and you're tuning into a Font Fun series for Blender 2.8. And also, you can do it on previous versions of Blender, but this is most definitely for Blender 2.8. If y'all folks are tuning in, I really do appreciate y'all folks for showing up. What we're on right now is birdfont.org. In my previous session, which was yesterday, I covered how to do a customized letter in terms of trying to create your own font and creating from scratch. So what I used over here, I was playing around with the letter C and trying to get the letter C to be created off of MS Paint, Microsoft Paint. So if you have any text editor tool in terms of, well, not really text, but image editor tool where you can sketch more like a calligraphy type of, text. It doesn't even have to be calligraphy, but with calligraphy you can get a thicker type of, more like a brush, so it makes it a little bit thicker and a little bit more legible. Like if you was trying to use the regular pencil over here on MS Paint, let's get out of MS Paint real quick and then go back to it, and I'll show you what I mean. If you're using a regular default pencil, it's really not gonna work out that great because it's not that thick. You need a thickness within your actual font in order for the font to stand out on Birdfont, for it to be able to be utilized and for you to be able to create your customized font. So that's why you would want to use a brush like a calligraphy brush, which you would get from here on MS Paint. And I like to use MS Paint. I like to default back to it sometimes because it's the easiest tool that most people already have use of on Microsoft Windows. So if you have a Windows computer, it would behoove you to try to check out MS Paint, go back to it, and try to just write any kind of letters on it. And then you can get those letters to be auto traced over on Birdfont. And that's what I showed in my previous session. So hopefully that explains it and expresses it. And what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to be trying to do all of my letters from B to Z. So I may not necessarily get it done completely, but I'm going to try and I'm going to attempt to do it. I have until, I would say, about, let me minimize, about 10:30, because around 25 minutes from now I'm going to have to be feeding my cats, and that's something that I messed up yesterday in terms of my timing. Since I'm doing this live, it's not really easy to get everything done, the way that I want it to be done and effective. So let me go back to Birdfont. If y'all folks want to get the download, you just click this link over here that says download, and it's pretty straightforward at birdfont.org. This is a free tool. So it says Birdfont is a free font editor which lets you create vector graphics and export TTF, OTF, and EOT and SVG fonts. Now if you want to get an OTF font, or actually not OTF, let me see. Yeah, if you want to get the OTF font, I believe that you have to pay, upgrade to the paid version, or actually maybe EOT. I'm not really sure. I have to go back to the tool. So this is the tool right here. When you first start off with the tool, you have to indicate whether or not you want to use a commercial license or SIL open font license. And this is the type of licensing that will be issued to those who choose to use your font. So you want to know, which one you want to use. If you're trying to use the commercial license and you click the link, it's going to show here, it says you need to get the commercial copy of Birdfont. So that means that you have to pay for the commercial copy 9 times out of 10. So it says visit birdfont.org. So I'm going to close that. And it looked like it shut down the whole entire site. Or not site, but the whole entire tool. And instead I'm going to choose the SIL open font license, which pretty much, if you look on Google, let's check real quick on Google just to get that out the way. I didn't talk about it too much in my previous session. SIL, what does this say? Let's see. SIL open font license. So open font license right here. So if you typed it into Google, you'll find over here it states what it's about. It says the SIL open font license is a free and open source license designed for fonts by SIL International for use with many of their Unicode fonts, including Gentium Plus etc., etc. So just look into these details, and that will give you an understanding what a SIL license is. You can also go to Wikipedia and learn a little bit more about it. It basically makes your font free and open source for other people to utilize. That's what I believe it does. So that's up to you if you want to choose that. So let's click that, and here goes the previous version files that I came up with, and I'm just going to go into the most recent one just to see what I was talking about in terms of the export. So let's go to try to export, and it's not giving me the option. I had this problem yesterday with trying to export fonts, so this one was probably the one that wasn't working good. So let's discard that, bring it back up, and I'll show you what I mean. Let's go to let's see, a test Birdfont. Try that and try to export, and it's not coming up. Something's wrong to some degree. Sometimes there's something wrong with the tool. I don't know why, but it should give me the ability to export, and it's not. So let's just go, let's try to go to save real quick, and now try to export and see if that makes a difference. Nope, still not making a difference. It should give me the ability to export this font. So let me just start a brand new project. We'll do that. Start off with a new project. Pretty much the tool has little glitches and things to that nature, so you may have some issues with trying to export. Whatever, it's all good. What you see here is known as glyph sets, and these are all like letter space sets. So basically each letter is holding a space filler, or holding a space for you to be able to customize into. So if you click the A in here, you're supposed to customize and create an A with using whatever tools you have here. Now if you don't want to do that yourself, you can actually do it on the editor using Microsoft Paint, or maybe it's Photoshop that you're using and you got some calligraphy brushes to create a letter, or any other software that's out there where you can create lettering. And once you get your lettering customized from your own creation, how you want it to look, then you can create a file. So you save it as a file. So let's save this one. Let's actually, instead of creating a C, we'll create H. I don't know. So we'll go in there, make sure we use the brush that we want, and create an H like that, whatever. And we'll go into file, go to save as, and save it as a JPEG picture, and then call it H test. We'll go save it, and now we're going to try to merge it over here. So how do you merge it? Pretty much you're going to make sure that you merge it into the letter that you want it to fit into. So let's X out of the A, because we don't want the A to be started off with. Since we're not using the A, we're going to use the letter H. So we go to H, double click it. You don't really have to go to it to start it out, but you can go over here to the upper right corner and go to import. But this is the one that we're going to be working on. That's why I chose to activate the H. So the H space filler isn't filled yet. It has nothing in it. So what you want to do is go to import and export, not import, export. Actually, yeah, you go to import, export, sorry about that. And then you go to import background image, or you can click the Control+B button. And I'm brand new to this, so I'm not that professed. So bear with me if I'm having any issues, bumps in the road, digital bumps in the road and stuff like that, if anything doesn't, work out the way it's supposed to. So what you have to do after that, once you get this background image tab that comes up, by using the Control+B button, or going over here, go to import and then import background image, all you have to do is look down at the bottom. Now you have different tools that you see here. The one that you're really going to use, the most important, is the add. After you click add, it's going to add the background image in there based on a file that you choose to select from. And then you're going to have to use this option here. So you'll see that. So we're going to click add, It's going to allow me to add from a file. So we're going to add the file that I just saved from MSPaint. It's htest. Click open and it goes in automatically. And then you're going to go and you're going to select the background from here. This icon to the left, upper left, where it says background image. You select that and make sure it highlights, and it's basically a dark highlight that you see for whatever tool that you choose to click on. And I did not want to zoom in, but I did that by mistake. So to zoom out, I think you have to go over here, zoom back out. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna go and look to select the background, and we're gonna basically use our left click mouse button and highlight the area that we want to select. Maybe the background had a whole bunch of letters all over the place, a whole bunch of letters all across the whole entire screen, and you just wanted to select that specific letter. Then you can go and select that specific letter. So there you go. You release the left click mouse button and it pretty much holds itself in place after you release the left click mouse button. And now you're gonna go down over here. Actually, I think you have to, let me do that again. I think you have to depress the scroll wheel. Nope. I did it yesterday and it locked in. So hold on one second. Not sure why it's not holding itself, but let's see. It should lock in and you should see a little circle right here in the lower right corner. So we'll do this over again. Let's exit out. I think I did something that wasn't supposed to be done. It's a really touchy tool, so keep in mind it may not work the way you want it right away. So we're gonna go to new font, start over from scratch, go to H, double click in it. Actually, we don't need the H yet. Let me get rid of that H, my bad. Delete that. So we'll go to default, leave it here, then go over to import and export, then import the background, then go add, then go to htest and open. Then we're gonna go, we're not gonna click this one right here where it says set size for background. We're gonna just go to background or select background, try to select it, and it is not selecting for some reason. There it is. So what I did is I clicked here somehow and it activated it. I don't know why it doesn't work all the time, but it just worked. I guess you got to click somewhere in the box. So let me do Control Z and back that out. Control Z doesn't even back out. It should have backed it out. Whatever the case is, once you get this little circle to show up, by however you figure out how to do it, I think you have to click somewhere in the box. I didn't click in the box. I think I just clicked in the corner. I'm not sure. Once you do that, this appears at the bottom that says parts and select glyph. Now when I first tried it, I didn't realize any of this stuff, so I was just clicking everything. So once you click this, it goes to the overview again. Now from the overview, you click the H and it should be sitting in the H, because you're basically telling it where to go to after you hit select GIF. So I just now selected the H, so the background will be basically superimposed inside the H sector of the overview. So now the H is being worked on. As you see, the H disappeared. See these space fillers? So the H disappeared. Now it's sitting here. I don't know if that makes sense on how to explain it, but that's the best way I can explain it. Now you also have to zoom out so you can see where you want to place the background physically. In a digital sense, you're physically placing it somewhere on a grid. This is like a grid that you see here, one small box sector in the grid. So what you have to do is go to zoom and zoom in and out until you can pull it all the way out. And you have these guidelines and grid over here. So what actually are these things, to tell you the truth? The A through Z these are all capital letters, by the way. So the caps makes a difference. So if you're placing a lowercase a or a uppercase a or whatever letter it is, that makes a difference when you're trying to customize your lettering, as well as numbers and special symbols. So if you're trying to create specialized looking symbols, maybe I want to make a specialized looking number symbol on MS Paint. Let's back this out. And maybe I want the number symbol to look kind of cool and stylish like that. I don't know if that looks cool to you. Well, you would have to pretty much do the same exact procedure, same steps, and then place it in the number symbol sector here after you set it up as a background. Now, as you can see, it turns red, right? It went from a light dim looking blue to, or blue/gray, blue mixed with gray kind of color, to a red. And that was after I set the glyph from the parts area. After I clicked that set glyph and I went to overview, it turned the background to red. That means that it's being utilized, I believe, and now it's activated. So it's being utilized in here. If you're not utilizing it in a space sector for that particular letter to be customized, then it would probably be defaulted to that other color previously. And then you see over here it has a little tiny H in the corner. I don't know if that's what it does, but I think that's what it indicates. It's showing that small little circle down here, which sector it's sitting in. So which glyph it's sitting in. So it's sitting in the H glyph, or H glyph set. So, and uppercase H. So it's sitting in here. See that? So if I wanted to do the number symbol, let's try the number symbol real quick. I'll try to get into the comments, but for now I'm just trying to do a how-to and trying to puzzle this thing together for folks. So if you're trying to figure it out, or you may be interested in trying to create your own customized text, this should help you. So we're going to go to save as a JPEG and just save this and call it number symbol. Or maybe I could use the number symbol and call it test. I don't know if it's going to work or not in terms of a naming, but we'll see. It looked like it worked. So now we know what the name is. I sent it to a specific folder on my computer that I'm aware of and where it's at. And what we're going to do is do the same exact thing, but we're going to go into the background, and instead we're going to add another one. So we're going to go add, and we're going to go for the number symbol test file and open. And now it gets rid of that H, because now we're working on a different one. So we're going to go through the same process, set background, highlight, and like I said, I don't know how. All right, there it is. So when you release your mouse, you have to click inside the box. So it turns gray, it doesn't turn blue. I thought it was bluish, but maybe I'm colorblind, I don't know. So it turns gray, and then it says down here set glyph. So you click set glyph, go back to overview, and then click the sector that you want, double click it, and it should insert itself. And it did not insert itself in here. I don't know why. It should have. So let's go back to the background, set glyph. There it is. So sometimes it seems like you have to go back and forth and keep trying it multiple times in order for it to work. So now it worked, and you'll see it's sitting here. So in the background it shows a little number symbol in the lower right corner. See that? So all this stuff I'm learning right now. I'm actually, like I said, not an expert at this stuff, so I'm learning while I'm doing the live stream. So y'all folks are learning at the same time. And now the number symbol actual special character is occupied, this space here. See that? So here goes the number symbol here. So now I got to do the same thing, do the zoom, and the zoom doesn't work that great. You just have to keep playing with the area region and then trying to mess with it. Now with the region here, when I was expressing and explaining how each of these glyphs, whether they're lowercase or uppercase, it matters. You'll see why it matters over time. You're not going to see right now. You're going to see at the tail end of what you're doing, the whole entire customization. So say you wanted to do all the letters, all the numbers, and all the symbols. It's going to take you a while. It's going to take a good amount of time to customize each one. So what I'm going to do today is only do A through Z. I did actual A yesterday, so I should say B through Z, like I was saying in the beginning. And it's all going to be capital. I'm not going to do the lowercase. I'm just going to do all caps. And then I'm going to try to type some stuff on Blender, because this actual series is for Blender. The Font Fun series is what I started out on Blender, and Blender is a 3D software, so we're going to turn the actual text into customized 3D text from scratch that you own, not I own. Obviously mine's is what I own, but you can be able to do it for yourself and own your own 3D text. So that's what the whole purpose is of this video. So now we got H, now we got number. We're just going to scratch the whole entire surface of all these. Hopefully y'all folks understand the basics to it. When you get to see B through Z, you'll see the rest of what I'm trying to explain of why it's important. So we're going to X out. We're not going to save. We're going to discard this. And I'll show you on the letter B how the positioning works for that. You know, how you're supposed to scale it, how you're supposed to look at the letters differently in terms of whether it's a uppercase or lowercase. So we'll do that right now. So we're going to go and we'll start out with SIL Open Font License again. Start out with new. And we're going to go back to the drawing board. So I don't want to waste too much time. I already saved a whole entire, how'd you say, all my lettering for A through Z. So I'm going to go back to that. And I'm just going to use these. And I created these previously, so that way I can move faster. So I already got this file. The file is known as A. So all I'm going to do is just keep referring back to this file to move faster. So y'all folks saw that. So we'll go to B. And actually we don't have to work on B for now. We'll just go to import, export. And I'll move real fast and try to talk about other things while I'm doing it, since y'all folks already know the process. So yeah, this is really an interesting subject and interesting thing to do. Now, if you notice, I don't have the letter A in here as a file. I only have C test, B test, and H test, and the number test. So I have to actually locate where I'm sending it to. So if y'all folks don't know about that part, I put it in my previous session. You want to create default folders or file folders, subfolders as well within a main folder on your computer, Windows computer or whatever computer you can use Birdfont on. And so that way you can locate them when you're trying to open it up, just like any other file exchange or file pipeline, pipelining stuff doing 3D or whatever. So in order to do that, I got to go back to MSPaint, and I have to go to file and save as JPEG, and then indicate where I want to save it to. So I'm saving it to this PC 3 objects, Font Fun. These are subfolders of this PC, and then a subfolder of a subfolder, which I named it Custom Font Fun How To. If you don't know how to create a subfolder, I do this in many videos. You're gonna right click in any white space of any of your folders, and you're gonna go to New towards the bottom of the pop-up, and then go to Folder, and then type in what you want the folder to be called. So I'm gonna delete this one. I can right click and delete it, but I just wanted y'all folks to see how that works. If my live stream freezes at any point in time, I'll try to get back to it and try to tie back into it, because my computer does have issues and it does crash every now and then. Hopefully it won't. I'm not actually running Blender, so it shouldn't crash at the moment. I'm not really running too many different instances of programs and software. I'm just running Birdfont and the web browser. So now let's save this as the letter A and click save. Hold on one second. I think something went wrong with that. Let me do it over. Save as the letter A, file name. There we go. So I just saved it in the folder that I needed at. Sorry about that. And now we're going to go back to this background image area. So we're going to go add, look for the letter A, which is now here. See that? And click open. And what I'm noticing is just the letter A popped up. which doesn't make sense. It should show the whole entire graphic. So let's X that out and see why that happened. I know when I first started it was just the letter A, so maybe I have to change it to some degree. I don't know what's going on. It's only showing this letter A here, which it shouldn't. It should show the whole entire graphic. So maybe we should resize it. Maybe we can resize it so it could fit, and we'll do like, I don't know, 500. See what it does, and call it a test. I just have a hunch that the sizing makes a difference. I'm not sure. So save, and let's go in, and now we're gonna use a test and open. So the size made a difference. It most definitely did. And now you can see all of the letters in there. So I don't know what size is the perfect size for this in terms of what to use, but as you can see, you can zoom in and zoom out and do all kinds of stuff. So what we're gonna do is set background, and we're gonna hover over just the B, release the mouse, and then click somewhere in here, and then it turns gray. There we go. So now we got that process down pat. And then we're gonna go to set glyph, and then select the B glyph. Double click it, and it's indicated right there. So now we're gonna set the C. We're gonna try to move fast. So actually I have to add. Can we do it like that? Let's see. Maybe we can do it like that. Hold on one second. I'm just gonna play around with this thing because I never tried it that way. Release it, click in there, and set glyph. Go back to overview and double click the C. Go back, set glyph or select glyph, double click the C. Look at that, it worked. So B, C, and this one is zoomed out. So we'll select it. Let's see. Go to move resize. Move resize. This is an option here that allows you to move and resize the actual font or text. Now the problem with making it too small, it may cause an issue with, as you can see, the pixel size is really bad. So that may not work out for you in terms of changing the size. I changed it down so we can grab multiple letters at the same time, or try to create a system where you can grab multiple letters one after the next. And as you can see, it was doable. I got B and C in one helping, but the problem with that is that the text font is so small. So we will try a solution and go back on MSPaint, hit the back arrow, and then maybe we have to move everything around. I don't know how that will work, but it should have came out on there. What I'm gonna do is try something different. Let's see something different. Let's go to here and manipulate the background a little bit in terms of move resize. I want to try to pull out of this in terms of zooming. There should be a way to zoom out. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, that's zooming the actual background. I don't want to zoom the background. I want to zoom in on. Okay, that's zooming on background image. What's this? Show full glyph. And what's this? Fit in view. Okay, that's fit in view. I want to zoom out the whole entire thing like this. Let's see. Like that. I want to be able to zoom out the whole thing in terms of the background. If I could zoom out the whole thing, then I can probably fix the sizing issue. And this is just my hunch, But let's just go to add. We'll go to add, and we'll add the original A back, and try to figure out why we're not getting the other letters. So that is pretty weird, actually. Let's scale. Look at that. If we scale up and down, something wrong with that. All right, so let's just try to save it as a different name. That's what we'll do. So this is a test. We'll just save over it at the regular original size, and then we'll try to add it a test. There we go. Now it worked, but this is down low. That's what the problem is. So we'll scale this back up. Really weird. What's going on here? I don't know how to fix this scale thing. So I guess I'm just gonna have to go back to ground zero. So we're gonna scratch it again, start over. We'll throw up another bird font. If first you don't succeed, you gotta try again. And we're past the 30-minute mark. I most definitely gotta get back to my cats. But y'all folks see the progression. You know, what I'm learning is moving a little bit more further past the unknown zone. So we're doing good. I'll take a little bit more minutes, maybe like 6 more minutes, and then I'll go feed my cats. And then I'll come back with another live stream and do like a part 3 to try to finish off all the letters. But it looks like I think I can pull this off and do something really cool. So we're gonna go to import and export, go to import background, and then go to add and bring in the A test. There we go. And the sizing is now at 1. That's good. So now we're gonna try to take the select background. I think it's still not sized properly for some reason. Let's go to the letter A. Okay, we'll take that, save as, and call it test A1. I think that's the problem. I don't know what's going on. A test 1. Path save was interrupted, so your file has not been saved. What? Okay, let's try that again. A test 1. Come on, save. There we go. All right, so we saved that one. We'll do it over one more time. Let's add and do A test 1 here and open. Now look at that. Look, it's zoomed in. So now the letters are much larger. So this is going to work now because each of the letters seem to fit into this little box area. As you can see, this is the zone where you're going to have to fit your letters in. So for some reason, when I first saved it, it did not produce the right lettering. It only produced the letter A. So now it's producing the whole entire thing at the full size. Now I don't have to downsize it. So we're going to go back to zoom and do each letter individually. So we'll do the letter A, then click in the box. We'll do each one. We'll just do them fast. Like that. Click in the box. And we won't set the glyphs until we're ready. Oops. Make sure you release it and then you click in the box. Release the left click mouse button, click in the box. Like that. There we go. So now I'm getting better. If you make an error in drawing, just click outside of the box and it will disappear. There we go. Oops. Anything outside of the box, when you click, it will send it away. So inside the box will allow you to store it. That's what it does, it seems. So release, click. Let's move faster. Well, outside the box is so bad. There we go. There we go. Move as fast as we can. This is, like I said, it's time consuming, but I'm trying to build a quicker process now that I'm learning. My learning is starting to progress, so that's good. Here we go. Maybe in the future I can time elapse this type of video, make it much more easier for people to understand and digest. But pretty much going at it in the beginning, you're not going to be able to do time elapses and all that stuff, obviously, because you're still in your learning stages, building blocks or whatever. So here we go. I'm surprised I was able to figure this out because I didn't watch this on the video on how exactly to do it phase by phase or step by step. I did watch the guy do it, but I didn't know what he did exactly. One of the guys who actually put out tutorials and stuff. And hold on one second, I'm getting a call. I'm gonna have to answer that a little later. Alright, so let's finish this off. Here we go. Almost done. XYZ. And there goes the letter Z. Boom. So I got each of these set up to be selected one after the next. So I think it makes a difference on how you select it here. See how it says select GIF? So I'm going to click on the first one for the letter A, and then click on the letter A. Double click it. Go back to overview, double click it. And why did the Z pop in there? The Z wasn't supposed to pop in there. Look at that. That was an error. So that's bad. How do I undo that? I don't think I can undo that one. So the letter A was set off in the wrong letter. Let's go into overview. Let's go to the letter Z. And that's weird. The letter A has a Z in it. That's the problem. So where is my background for the Z? Can you move the glyph? That's a question. Maybe I have to X this one out. So let's X that one out. Okay, there we go. So we X that one out. That's the way to end that problem. And we want to set this glyph. So to set that one, let's see what it does. Oh, it looks like it's setting the Z first, because that was the very last one. So the letter A is down here. I see what it's doing. So the letter A is at the bottom. So let's do that over. X this out and resketch that one. Boom. So let's try this right here and set the A like that. There we go. So we have to do from bottom to top. Overview, double click the B. Overview, double click the B. Come on, set the B. There we go. And double click the C. Set glyph, let's do it over. Double click the C. There we go. Now we're working. Now we're moving. So it takes a little time. Double click the D. And there we go. So yeah, it's not the best thing in the world. Let's just double click them all and try to bring them all up on the screen. That's what we'll do. One after the next in succession. Like that from the overview. That way we got them all up on the board. And we can move faster. Just a matter of clicking quick. So we'll do all of that. M, did I do M? Yeah, I did M. So S, T, U, V. You gotta like double click in here. Double to triple click in there. W, X, and then Y and Z. Okay, so now we got that. We can hit that forward arrow and forward. Okay, there we go. So now we're gonna go to set glyph, select GIF or glyph, and that's the E, F, look at that, it's moving fast now, G, H, oops, I set the I as a H, that's not good, that's the I. Oh, look at that, you could switch them fast, that's pretty cool. Alright, so I just learned something else by making an error. So K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, hold on, where's the T? T, U, V, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Finally got to the Z. Boom. So all of them are now done. And I'm not going to specialize them like to make them look even better than they are. I'm just going to use them as they are. So what we got to do now is make sure we save. So we go to File, go to Save. Well, we'll save it as, and we're going to call this B to Z. B to Z test 1. Something like that. And then save it. And now go to Export, Import, Export, and Export Fonts. And this option comes up. As long as this option comes up, you should be good. So we're going to call it B to Z, BZ test 1. And this one's going to be called BZ test. Now you have to make sure that in the MAC address, or MAC, not address, but MAC name, that it's different from the file name. So just take off that numbering and just leave it without a number if you're using a numbering system for multiple file types. And then OTF, I think I was right when I first started out. If you try to save a OTF and you click it, it's going to say you need the plus version to export OTF fonts. So it's OTF, it's not the EOT. So we're going to uncheck the other ones. OTF, TTF, and EOT are actual font type files. So those are the file types for fonts, basically. So you're going to need the TTF in order to use it on whatever, on your Microsoft computer or whatever computer. If you want to use a customized font, you have to have a TTF, OTF, or EOT. It's up to you whatever file type you want it in terms of that. But some file formats may not be accepted. And I learned this recently. So TTF is accepted by Blender. So we don't have to worry about naming it. You can name it and do specific description. Like you can go into the details and click this, but we don't need that. We already just did a basic naming. We're going to go export, and when you click it a single time, it should automatically save it, or export it, I should say. And it's going to export to this custom font fun how-to folder that I selected. So how to set that folder, actually, I don't know how it chose that. It was defaulted already somehow. Or maybe because I tried to save it here. So wherever you try to save to, I think it's going to select that folder. So I think that's how that works. So we're going to go to the folder and see if it shows up here. So let's see. Let's move this over, and we should see B A2Z test 1. And I think this is the font type here. So we're going to right click it and let's see, open with, should show preview. Actually, B to Z test, here it is right here. And B to Z test 1. All right, this is it. So we're going to right click and go to preview, and you should see in all the caps those letters are taken up. So where's all caps at? I'm not seeing the all caps. It looks like all caps are blank. That's pretty weird. It should show those fonts on the screen right here. What I'm saying is, let's go to A test 1 just to show you the difference. So you see all these letters, these are taken up. All right, I know what I did wrong. You know what I did? I didn't complete the process. I jumped a little bit ahead of time. And this is the part that I wanted y'all folks to see, where the letters will sit at and why it makes a difference. So the caps is going to show here once you're done creating the TTF file. This is an actual TTF file that's showcased on Windows as an open typeface. So it shows up here as an open typeface, and they show basically all your lettering that's available for that font. So the lowercase a's are not done, obviously, because I didn't do anything, and or lowercase alphabets, I should say, and then the uppercase was done in this particular TTF file for the letter A and C, and then everything else is defaulted to Times Roman, I believe. So if you don't customize your letters, it's just going to be what Windows defaults it as. So you'll see what I mean. So what I have to do, I forgot to finish the process. Let's go back to, not background, we have to go back to each letter. So we got to go all the way to the letter A. I'm so silly, I did not finish it. So where's the letter, or the letter B? I think the letter B is what I started out with. Can't even see the letter B. It's not even here. There's too many letters. So we'll scroll over here and go to the letter B. There we go. So now we're on the letter B, and we're gonna have to zoom in. This is gonna take some time to manipulate. So I'm gonna have to go feed my cats before it gets too late. It's going on 11 o'clock. And I'll try to come back to finish this off. So let me just do letter B real quick so y'all folks can see how it works. So now what I have to do is go to move and resize. When you select that, it gives you the ability to fit the letter in the spacing. And over here with the guidelines and grid, you're gonna have to set this up so that the guidelines and grid shows up. So you click this one to give you a guideline as to where the letter would sit. So I believe this top line could be moved, and this is the top line that indicates where the lowercase positioning should be sitting at. And the bottom part is the bottom of the letter. So what I want to do is resize it, and over here in the center, I believe you can move it. This is your resize, this is your move, and this little tick mark right here allows you to rotate. So we'll resize it so it fits about there, something like that. And I want it to fit the whole entire sector. So from here to here, basically, fit the whole entire B in there. And that would be my letter B, pretty much. So when you're done that, then you're gonna look over here. Once you choose to select move, resize, and rotate, you get an option over here that gives you the ability to auto trace the background. If you somewhere else, the tool will change. See how the tools just changed? So that may get somebody in the beginning, and you might lose, the track of what you're doing, and say to yourself, like, where's my tools at? Excuse me about that. My throat is a little dry. So what you have to do is just either go to, it looks like you can go to zoom, any of the moving features. Well, zoom does it. This one doesn't move paths. It changes it into other tools. Look at that. And how about this one? Resize, rotate. That doesn't do it. This one doesn't do it. in terms of freehand drawing. So the background tools pops up from the move and resize and the search type of, or zoom, not search, it's a zoom. Looks like a search feature. And then let's see this one. Also the move canvas feature, it comes up. So from that point, you just got to click auto trace background image. When you do that, it takes a little time, but you'll notice that the background image will be auto traced. And this is where Birdfont comes in and converts your actual font that you created on some other editor. It converts your background into a usable font. So that's what I forgot to do. And I have to do that for every single letter sector. So every sector has to be done that way. So now there's an actual, it's more like glyph type of controls back there. And what I'll do is, let's see, I can delete the background if I want. Let me delete the background so you can see. So this is the glyph controls, and you should be able to go into it. You can't go into it at the moment because you're not, if you're not on any of these add new point for Bezier curves, and this is add new points, this is create Bezier curves. If you're not on either of these options, or move control point, if you're not on the point options, then you won't be able to control it. So let's click to that one, and then you depress the mouse scroll wheel, and it gives you the ability to control the Bezier curves that was created off of the auto tracing. So the auto tracing is pretty dope, and it alleviates the requirement for you to have to draw it out by hand. So you can use that background sketch to be auto traced, and you don't have to draw every little Bezier curve. So that's why I tried to show in the previous video on my previous live stream. So this is just for the sector of letter B, for that glyph, for that section. So if you want to do letter C, then you got to go in and do letter C as well, resize it, zoom it in, and do each letter individually until you fill out the whole entire A through Z for caps, for all letters that's capped. And then when you do lowercase caps, then like I said, you move that little line. Let me try to zoom in to the C real quick, and I'm gonna end this session after that. So let's move it to the center, resize it, and let's throw in that grid line guideline thing. You can also throw in this other lines up here and other grids. That's up to you. But I want my letter to fit in here pretty much. Lettering, and then resize it just a little bit, and you'll see the top and the bottom fits right in there, and that should be good. Now this line, I think, hold on one second, I'm not sure how to move that line, but I think you have to click over here. There's a way to move the line. I saw someone playing around with it. Not really too sure how to do that, but you would have to choose one of these options. Some of the options will adjust those type of features, so you have to go in and select the type of option. I'm not sure. I'll come back with another video on that part, but now I got the C. Let me try to auto trace it. So the auto trace right here is in the background tools again, this little circle icon next to the X. You click it, and then it takes a little while, and then it will update and trace the whole entire thing, placing Bezier curves across the whole entire image for what that sector needs to show. So there it is, it's done. It looks a little darker. That's how you can tell that it's done. And we're going to click the X over here for delete background, and now you see it shows there. Go over here to the drawing tool and depress, and you'll see the Bezier curves. Now you can adjust the Bezier curves too. You can delete some of them to make it more straighter. I saw that. Actually, let me use the Control Z to back those out. I did the wrong thing. Got to go over here, and I think I can play around with the control points then. Use the delete. Just try to delete some of them. Actually, it's probably this one. Some of them don't delete, some of them do. There we go. Looks like you gotta select at least 2 of them to delete. Boom. So you can make them straighter, and that will be able, or more curvier, and that will be able to display your letter a little bit better. And I'm not really gonna show that. Like I said, I don't want to show all of that because I'm not that great at it. But for now, at least you know how to create these. So now the B and C are done. Depress the mouse scroll wheel to pop in and out of this option for the Bezier curves. And we got B and C done. And we'll just go to save, go to file, save, and then try to export it again. Export fonts, and it should give me the options up here. I had the export settings here, and then I go to export. So I'm gonna export as the same name and see if it overwrites it. Should overwrite it. And this is it right here, BZ test 1 preview. Now you see the B and the C shows up right here. And if you can't see that, I'll zoom in. I'll take a screenshot, print screen, and then go over to MSPaint, paste over, and zoom in. As you can see, there goes the B, the capital B, and the capital C. So I did those two. So if I was to start typing and use this font type by installing it or whatever, if you install it from here, that's going to install it on your PC. So I don't recommend you to do it that way. I recommend for you to go to Blender. When you run up Blender, if you ever used it, I don't know if you ever used it, you can go in and basically tell Blender to create a font. So I'll show y'all folks that real quick before I leave. My cats are really hungry right now, starving. So I apologize if some of this video is not, like I said, 100%, 100 on the accuracy of everything, but I'm doing my best. So we're just waiting for Blender to come up, and I'll make sure in the future these type of videos are more refined, where it would have every little thing that I'm able to do from start to finish. I'm gonna try to do pre-recorded videos for it. That way more people can benefit without having to watch the full live stream session or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. So how did I figure all this stuff out? It just took some time, little progression of learning different things and figuring out stuff, watching videos and things like that. Come on, Blender's taking so long to come up. I don't know what it's doing. It's just going through all this loading stuff. So yeah, it's 11 o'clock. My cat's eating a second day at 11. A little bit late, but better late than never. And there it is. Blender's up. So what you have to do when you're on Blender, let's move this all the way to the side because I have it set up for something else. And I just want y'all folks to see what you can do. This you're going to need over here. So this properties area you're going to really need. Let me just crush that one there and leave that open for you to see. So in Blender you got the viewport, whatever. If you never used it before, the viewport is really a virtual studio. If you think of it like that, you have a studio space, you can zoom out, zoom in. You got your lamp, you got your camera, and you got your center point and your crosshairs, XYZ axis type of thing. The Z axis is invisible. You don't see it. In my previous video I showed it basically on how you can see it. It's a purple axis. You can also hide the gizmo, hide the overlays to make it all disappear, reappear by using these icons here. So the gizmo shows that this is the purple axis or blue axis, and the Y is the green, and the X is the red. So that just basically explains what Blender is in a very, very simple terms. But you can create 3D graphics with it. You can create 3D models, you can do animation, you can do a lot of stuff for those who are brand new to Blender. Now, we're going to use this toolbar up here. Usually it's on the bottom, but the default is now set up to the top for Blender 2.8. We're going to go to Add. We're going to go to Text. So if you want to add anything, you can go up here and check all these different things. You can also use the Shift and the A key, and it does the same thing. So I'll do that real quick. Shift A, and then go to Text. See, it says a little A icon and text. When you do that, it tries to add a text into your area of view. So now you're viewing it. You can choose whatever view you want. So I'm going to choose to rotate it on the x-axis. So I do RX and type in 90, and it comes up on the screen, and you can see it in pretty much in a three-dimensional field of view, but it's not full 3D. If I want to make it full 3D, I would have to go here. If you notice, an A pops here into the properties. It wasn't here previously. You go in there and you can manipulate stuff in here. So I can go to geometry, I can play with extrude, I could do all kinds of different stuff. You also can convert it into a 3D text by going to convert to mesh, so you can play around and manipulate the mesh. But for now, what I want to do is show y'all folks how the text moves in. So we're going to go to this letter A, make sure we're on the properties, and we're not going to extrude. We're going to go to font and go to this regular part here, and then click this little folder. And in the fonts, we're going to search for that font that we created, which is the Bezier test 1, which is here in my custom font fun how-to folder. And this is the way on Blender to navigate through folders and stuff. Since I did it already multiple times, it's going to show up here in the recent folders. So we'll go to Bezier test 1 and then open font up here. Make sure it pops up in there. It should pop up in here once you click it. And that's the .ttf file type. Open it, and then you'll see the letters will try to place itself in. Now it won't place the correct letters in there unless that particular letter was already in. So it's not showing because we have to go to edit mode, and then we have to edit in those letters that we chose. So remember, caps makes a difference. So if I type in the letter C, the C should show up. If I type the letter B, the B should show up. See that? And all other letters will not show up because those letters are not filled in. So if I do lowercase a, uppercase A, whatever other letters I try to put in, it's not going to show up. It's just going to be space fillers because I did not customize each of those for that TTF file that I created. So now only the letters C and B are done. So in the future, you're going to see stylized letters that I'm going to try to really create highly customized letters, all kinds of stuff like that. So let's go out of edit. We're going to go to object mode. What I'm going to do is try to convert this into a 3D mesh. I had a problem with that, so hopefully it's fixed. I don't know if it's fixed, but we'll go to curve from mesh to text and see if that made a difference, and it did not make a difference. So I think this version of Blender, for some reason, the mesh to text conversion is not working. So I'll show y'all folks that in the future, the benefits of it and how you can manipulate it to make really, really amazing looking background, stylish backgrounds for maybe a YouTube videos, or maybe you want to make stylish text for branding purposes or for anything that you're doing in your Blender projects. So what we want to do now, we'll just turn it into, we'll go to the geometry and then extrude it just to show the 3D element is still there, but it's not an actual mesh, so you can't manipulate the vertices and faces and all that. Whatever is available in 3D, you can't really manipulate it. You can just see the graphic as it is, and that's all you can do. You can type out whatever you want once you get all the letters cased in and you get all the differing lowercase, uppercase, whatever combinations you want. Once you got all that in from Birdfont over here, like each letter space filled in and customized, then you can pretty much type them out once you save it and then export it out. As you can see, it's something that you can play with, and I think it's going to be really dope the further you get into it. The more you work on this, the more you play with it, the more you practice, the better you're going to get, and your letters are going to start looking more professional looking and more detailed. Some of them are going to look funky and fancy, kind of weird and fun, and I think that's the whole purpose, to create more fun. Without having fun, what are you doing? You know, when you think about it, you know, everything from day one all the way back from humanity, when humanity first started, a lot of it tends to lean towards enjoyment, entertainment, having a good time. And without one person ever having a good time, I don't even think alphabets would have been created. So you got to think about that. Human communications itself depends on the fun factor. That's what I believe. And other than that, that's all I got. On that note, I'm going to end this session, and I'll try to come back with the rest of the letters so that way y'all folks can see everything. I may just do a zoomed fast forward that part in terms of repeating the whole entire procedures, because everything is the same as the first letter that I did. So I may like do a, what do they call that, time elapse, like I said earlier, and get that done up real quick and insert it in to the video. I'm not sure, so we'll see what we're gonna do. But I most definitely got to feed the cats. I'm 7 minutes past 11 and I gotta go to work. So I'll see you next time. Feel free to hit thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and tune in next time for whatever video types that I come up with. A lot of this stuff I'm doing fonts right now on Blender because I'm a newbie to it. I'm trying to get really good at it. Hopefully I can become really great at it in the future. That's my aim, and then I can incorporate it into whatever other projects that I come up with and things that I come up with. And if y'all folks want to catch my future videos, future series, or whatever, feel free to subscribe and feel free to smash that bell icon to get my latest videos that will come out whenever. And that's all I got. I'm out. Peace. Mike Pugh, signing off. Like I said, the next video will be the rest of the letters. Peace out.